This particular stall is Hope's stall. She's a miniature horse. And so what you can see here, the first thing I'm doing, I'm going in her stall, I'm removing her water bucket, her feed bucket, and I'm also taking down her hay net. All of this takes place before I start scooping or cleaning out the stall. Now that all the buckets are removed and the hay net is removed as well, this is where I would start mucking out the stall. When mucking out the stall, I like to get the wet and soil debris out first. And I put that in a wheelbarrow, which will later be disposed. I think she has one more spot of kind of wet, soiled stuff. Okay. At this point, I actually like to drag all of the bedding to the back of the stall. So at this point, now that everything's in a pile, I like to take a scoop and I actually will throw it against the wall. And as you can see, it separates the good bedding from the bad bedding. This is a miniature horse's stall, so there's not, big pieces of poop, if you will. So it's a little easier to clean. And I just put the soiled bedding again in the wheelbarrow. So once I've sifted through and have thrown everything against the wall, you can see there's still a couple different pieces laying around. So at this point, I'll kind of go and just sift through it one more time to make sure the stall's extra clean. And I'll put these in the wheelbarrow as well. And now you can see that there's quite a couple wet spots. And this is where we actually will go through and put stall refresher in the stall to keep the ammonium smell down. So this is the stall refresher we use. Again, it keeps the ammonia odor away from our horses, so they're not breathing it in, they're not getting respiratory issues. This is what Hope's stall would look like after I've put down the stall refresher. And at this point, I'm going to rake back the bedding and put it in the back of her stall and sweep the front. So after sweeping and raking the bedding to the back, you can clearly see that that's not enough bedding in there for a horse. So at this point, I will add a combination of some fine pine shavings, and I'll actually add the horse pellets as well. We usually do a 50-50 ratio in our stall just to keep the absorption level at maximum. So this is what it looks like after we have put more bedding in, and I actually just noticed that the back wall is kind of dirty, so I'm actually going to take the broom and kind of clean this up and make it look nicer. After cleaning the stall, we obviously have a wheelbarrow full of waste, and what we do with this is we actually take it to the back of our property line and we will dump it. And about once a month we have a company come, they load it up and they take it out so they can compost it, because we don't have the proper facilities to do that. And so as you can see, we like to stack it here. It was just picked up probably about a week or two ago, so this is all we have at the current moment. But as you can see, we do have a company that does come pick it up and they dispose of it for us. After cleaning the stalls, I like to bring the buckets inside to our bathtub. And as you can see here in the video, I'm applying some Dawn dish soap liquid to the bucket, and I'm going to use hot water and a scrub brush to really scrub and disinfect those buckets out.
You can also use just the smallest amount of bleach in these buckets to get them disinfected, to make sure that your horse isn't taking in any extra bacteria. As we know, that can definitely be harmful for our horses. So here I am, I'm using the scrub brush, I'm scrubbing out that bucket. After I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and rinse it out, and I'll spray it, with just the smallest amount of bleach, and I'll wash it thoroughly again. And after that, I set them out, and you'll see at the end, I actually set them outside to dry in the sun. That is a natural disinfectant. Finally, I wanted to include a picture of the different equipment that we use. So a couple different items would be the wheelbarrow that you guys saw in the video. Another thing I use is a broom. We also use a pitchfork or a mucking fork, and we use that. They usually make them for horses. Actually, you can use a plastic one or a metal one, and we store these in our garage that is really close to our horse stalls, which is kept nice and clean.